Hello, people, and welcome to the inside of my room. Um, I'm hoping that my podcast voice, at least my podcast voice, sounds good enough. I hope I'm not too close. This is not really going to be a cast, I would say, but I just wanted to kind of go over how I'm, you know, just figuring out how to do this for the first time. Cause I like was on my run earlier, and I go on a run pretty much every day, and I thought of a lot of things to talk about for future podcasts. I hope the lighting is okay. I'm gonna try to learn how to post this to Spotify. That's my next goal. I'm gonna actually write that down. See, so something with me, I have to write things down, um, so I don't forget. See, I already freaking forgot. Spotify podcast mine. That was very unorganized writing, but that's okay. I will hopefully figure that out. But I guess this is gonna turn into my first cast. Welcome. I was planning to have an intro, but I guess I just kind of went into it. I'm kind of winging it. It's making a podcast like this is something that I think is probably overthought. I overthought it in particular. Just like the equipment that you need and everything. I was like, you know what? I keep making excuses about me not having the equipment or the time or just the stuff to talk about. So we are just going to get into this. I really don't know what I'm going to be talking about today, but I just Googled what do I talk about on my first podcast. Well, before I do that, I wanted to mention some of the things that I wrote down on my run. Few things that I want to talk about. The first one is bold. Drugs, because, drugs is something that goes on, especially with people around my age. So I thought it was something interesting to talk about. It would be an interesting topic. There's a lot to go over. Things or people I can do without, because this is something as new viewers that don't know me get to know me. So, you new people or my friends that already know me. I like people, and I like the people that I like. I love the people that are around me, but I don't like people. I don't like just society. It I'll go into that later. I don't want to kind of give myself too many spoilers. The next one that I wrote is I turned 20, cuz yesterday, July 10th, I turned 20 years old. I broke into my 20s. That's kind of crazy to me in all kinds of aspects. Not real, like, I'm still the same person. I still can't, legally go buy alcohol. Um, but it doesn't, I mean, it's kind of just the same as 19, but it's just now I've entered an actual other decade, and there's so much pressure associated with being in your 20s. I really don't want to go into every topic that I wanted to talk about, but there really is so much pressure about going in your 20s. I just see it online all the time on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, literally everything. And it's kind of toxic and overwhelming to some people. So that's something I think about. Well, that's something that I think would be just good to talk about. The next thing I want to talk about eventually is how you can control your shit. And I'll explain that in the other video. But for a quick summary, that means, well, to me, that means, well, for a quick summary, oh, that's Snapchat right now. I need to turn that off. I'm just winging it because I don't want to edit this that much. So we're not going to be going over some raunchy subjects unless if I'm on the phone with somebody, you never know. But in the past year, I've learned a lot about how life works, at least for me, because I used to worry about everything. I used to be a very anxious person, and I've kind of grown out of that because I just kind of learned how it is what it is, and you can kind of, well, not kind of, you can be in control of a lot of the things that happen around you, like getting a job, quitting a job, starting school, quitting school, relationships, friendships, whatever. So that's something I think would be an interesting thing to talk about. I also want to talk about my own personal embarrassing stories, and also I'll probably read something on the internet. Um, Being in the moment is another one, because that's something else that I learned. I used to be in my head a lot, constantly thinking about everything. So now I am able to become more present just in day-to-day life, and also just being happy. Those are the things that I wrote down now. There's also things that you can comment below if you'd like me to, like, different topics that I should talk about. I'll figure it out as I go. Also, for my microphone, I don't want to mess up the audio, but this is a socket wrench. Because I think I said that earlier, but I was like, well, shoot, I don't have a proper podcast mic, but I think this will do. The audio on this should be pretty good. I've not really had any trouble with this. Also, speaking about microphones and audio, for a shameless plug, check out my other YouTube channel, which is just Bern Romulus. I post car videos. This is for people that don't know, but I post car videos, all kinds of car videos. I am doing YouTube full time. That's something else. I'm going to write that down right now. YouTube full time, because I am, let's see, full time. I'm not a multitasker when it comes to talking and typing, two different things. But I quit my job, my full-time, well, not full-time job, but my minimum wage job, which I did not enjoy. I quit that in May to do YouTube full time, and so far it's been okay. It's nothing that I can complain about, can or should. I shouldn't, because it's paying my bills, which is really not terribly much, because I sold one of my cars that I had my car payment on. And so YouTube has been okay. I think I'll go into how that works too, but I'd like it to pick up. I also thought about the podcast in the future. I could make money from it, but right now I just want to talk. I just like talking. I'm always posting stuff on Instagram and Snapchat. So I thought it would be better to also post on YouTube my full-length stories, because I'm always talking about something. So now I can finally go on to what I was Googling earlier. And this article is from the podcastspace.com, and it's called What to Say in Your First Podcast Episode. This will be in the middle of the podcast, I guess, because I'm not going to rotate anything around to make things confusing for myself or yourself. So it says, address your audience, then welcome them to the show. Well, hi, people. This is the Bernism. That's the official, not the Bernism. That's something else. The BERNcast? The BERNcast. I think a good name for this is the BERNcast. And this is episode 1 of the BERNcast. Getting to know me and just learning how to do podcasts, I guess. I'm going to try to figure out what the name of this episode should be, besides number 1. But it says include your name, which my name is Bern, and include personal information that provides some background. So, I guess, to give you a quick rundown on me, since I've been in 8th grade, I've been working at car dealerships. I am obsessed with cars, I'd say. I have 2 cars currently right now. Phantom is a Toyota Tacoma, 1997, and Thor, which is a 2010 Volvo XC90. I'm planning to find something sporty in the future. I don't want to talk too much about cars on this, but yeah. But I've been working in dealerships since my summer going into my freshman year of high school. So I don't want to think about, freaking time and how long that goes, but I've been working at different dealerships in my area, and that's kind of what started my YouTube channel too. Now for YouTube, I'm doing videos of older cars, and I also want to do videos of new cars as well, but I really don't like new cars as much as I like older cars. But it's annoying because the new cars get the views, and the old cars get views, but not as quickly, and not as much. Let's see. Are you a specialist in senior living? No. Oh, I like cars. I like cars. I like making videos. I like talking. Pretty obvious things. Mention what inspired me to start my podcast. Well, I like to talk to people. I like to talk to my friends. There's a difference. I like to talk to my friends. I don't really like talking to strangers. I would consider myself an extroverted introvert. I love being around my friends to an extent because I can get, sometimes I get tired. Not in like, I'm tired of these people, but, just like actually just sleepy. So, I do like my alone time like this. I was also thinking, if I should have a co-host for the podcast, but I don't think I need that right now. I think I've been doing a good job at talking about nothing for, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes so far. So it says, don't be afraid to get up close and personal. Maybe in the future. I moved the camera. Shoot. But in the future, I will get up close and personal. Mostly, I hope that my friends are watching this. I mean, I kind of made it for my friends to listen to me because I like listening to podcasts. I guess I'll talk about the podcasts that I listen to. Primarily right now, I listen to the Pete and Sebastian show. That I'm always listening to that. I also listen to several H3 podcasts. Like I used to watch periodically Frenemies. Now I watch every episode of The Family's podcast with Ethan and his mom. That's a good podcast. I also listen to Ear Biscuits from Rhett and Link sometimes. And then Garrett Watts and Andrew Sawicki. They made a podcast. I forgot the name of it, but I watched a lot of that. I listened to a lot of that. So I was like, maybe I should add something to my friends that listen to podcasts. Ear whatever, just what they listen to. Because people tell me I have a good podcast type of voice, so I hope that it's actually doing something. Talk about the release schedule. Tell them to subscribe on their favorite podcast platforms. Well, I do want to post to Spotify. Before I upload this video to YouTube, I will try to learn how to upload a podcast to Spotify. And I know how to upload stuff to SoundCloud. I don't know how to do Apple Music. I'll figure that out. Because I recently converted. That's another thing I'm going to do. Spotify, Apple Music, switch. That's okay. I'll organize my notes later. I am not exactly sure what the release schedule of this will be because, I'm going to say once a week because I think once a week will be fine because this will kind of be once or twice a week, honestly, because I end up having a lot of free time. That brings me to something I was talking about probably 10 minutes ago or whenever. For YouTube, as for the older cars, I'm starting to run out of older cars to do videos of. Because I've done a lot of my friends' cars. I still have like maybe 10. So hopefully, and everyone's just out of town during the summer, so it's kind of difficult to coordinate schedules. Another thing about videos is next month I'm going to the New York Auto Show for the first time for my first media press day. And hopefully that hopefully that will be a good experience, so I'm excited for that. But let's see here. Explain the podcast structure. It says explain the topics you'll be covering in upcoming episodes, but don't get into the nitty-gritty. I did that. Will there be interviews? Maybe. I don't know how my friends feel about talking on camera or audio, because I know how I used to be when I would hear my voice and I'd cringe. And when some people watch my videos, I still cringe when I'm in front of them. If you welcome our audience participation, explain how that is going to work. Well, I do have Patreon, but no one subscribed to my Patreon. Say goodbye and share where people can find more. I don't know if I'm necessarily done. I don't think I'm done yet. I have time. I have about 20 minutes or something. So yeah, I'll say this after at the end, but if you want to find more of me, I'm on Instagram. My name is just Bern Romulus. I'm on YouTube, of course. That's really it. I don't use Twitter that much. I just read tweets. I don't tweet myself. And that's funny. It says extra tip in this section. Only mention the platforms that you actively monitor. I got interrupted by my dad. I don't remember what I was talking about. That's something else that happens quite often. Oh, but yeah, I don't use Twitter that often. I really don't know what else I really wanted to talk about today. I did want to talk about myself a little bit, just so for people that don't know me, you can know me. I think I did. Some of the last things I'll say is I was born and raised in Maryland. Gone to Catholic school almost all my life, but I am. When it comes to religion, that is not something that I have trouble with at all. I'm a very spiritual person, I'd say, but at least for me, when it's shoved in your face, maybe I'll talk about that. Maybe that's something else I'll talk about. When it's shoved in your face for over a decade, at least for me, I was like, I don't care. I don't care. But I do find myself being a very spiritual person. With the things that I do and the music I listen to, I think I'll also talk about music. I don't know how I would add things like that in, so, it actually flows and I don't get copyright strikes. But I guess because it seems like I'm verbally running out of gas, I guess I might end it here because I don't want these to be terribly long. Maybe in the future they'll be longer. All the podcasts I listen to are at least 30 minutes to an hour. But that's usually with 2 different people in them. So, I don't know. But I guess I keep looking at the number 6 thing. It says say goodbye and share where people can find more. So, I'm going to say goodbye now. And if you want to find me on other places, like I said a few minutes ago, you could find me on Instagram at Bern Romulus. You can find me on YouTube, also Bern Romulus. You can find me on... That's really it. I don't know. But thank you for watching or listening. Hopefully that this is on multiple outlets so you can listen to the podcast or watch it if you want. I try to not add too many visuals in this, just so the people that are just listening to the audio don't feel left out. But I might add some things in here in between. But yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope that this turns into something good. I think it will. And I will talk to you guys on the next one. Thank you. Bye.